today I want to start by looking at April 1st and April 2nd, and that's because today was a weird day and it could be the first sign of bullish reversal, but I want to observe the kind of price action that we've seen in the past and compare that to what we're seeing now. I currently have April 1st here on the left and April 2nd here on the right, and you can see that the price started up here towards 25 and then made this big gradual swooping motion, and this looks almost like a rounding bottom, right? And there's even a bulge in here, and that happens in rounding bottoms a lot. And you might even see that there could be an inverted head and shoulders in here, right? This looks really good. Doesn't this look like perhaps the price could rise from this point moving forward? But guess what happened? I'm gonna drag the screen now. Boom, 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 boom. The price just kept dropping. Isn't that curious? This looked like it was bottoming and then it didn't. It gave out and it fell. And at that time, we had this downtrend to help us identify that. You can see there's a couple of touches of that up here. And when the price was rounding out, approached that level, it rejected and was sent much lower, okay? And this trend line, as you can see it in the solid red line here, has been very, very strong, and the price has continued to kind of make this weird basing pattern with a bulge in it and then fall. And here we can see this kind of looks like a topping pattern even, right? And we continue to see this throughout the whole downtrend. Here we have another kind of swooping, almost a rounding bottom with a heave in it, and the price falls. Okay, and here we had, this wasn't quite the same. This was last Friday, I believe, yes, and this is when the price started to encounter this trend line. And I started a secondary trend line here too. And this was curious, that boom, 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 we had 3 separate touches, and the price didn't find a dramatic fall after that. Well, today at open, that leads us to today, and I want to look at this. I decided to enter some puts right away. This was our first candle, huge wick, low volume, and when the price did rise very close to 70, it turned around. And initially we saw some rejections around those trend lines. You can see here rejecting at this trend line. And then it came up a little higher and approached this 1870 level, which is really important. And it turned around there. So let's take a look at 1870, and you can see that that was the price that supported Friday's price until, you know, it broke down. Then we saw a big dump, and on last Thursday that was the big bounce too. This 1870 level is going to be very important, and you can see there's almost like an inverted head and shoulders in here, right? And this could almost be seen as a big basing pattern. And so I'm trying to think if this could just be another bull trap, like some of these other seemingly rounding bottoms, inverted head and shoulder pattern types have been. And that's possible, but I say that, and I know my bias is going to be bearish because I'm holding on to these puts still. Why am I holding on to these puts? Well, as the day went on, the price rose and broke out above that channel, and then was pretty lethargic above there. You know, it even started to come down and drop. And this is when I was thinking, okay, you know, at this point, I don't know if I want to be holding these puts. Should I actualize a loss? And then I got busy. I had to walk away. I had to focus on something else. And then the price ran. When I came back, like, you know, I mean, I saw it rising, but I couldn't do anything about it. And I came back somewhere around here and just said, you know what? Like, I've got to hold on to these puts. Commit to the loss almost. They are trash puts. And this is another stupid thing. They're trash puts because I wasn't paying attention to the dates. And so I didn't buy next week's expiration, I bought this week's. So that was bad. So oof, that was a big mistake. And then this is just life getting in the way. Nonetheless, here we are at 1870. The price here is spinning on that level. Whew, and that makes me nervous, real nervous, because right now I'm holding some puts, and it's not my entire position. I paid 86 for one and 12 for the other, so it's under $100, and I remember that I'm at somewhere like 220, so it's not like I'm going to lose all my money ever if this does turn out to be a bullish reversal, but I'm in a precarious spot. I do know that inflation data is coming out tomorrow, and that could be really bearish for the markets, and I know that IWM, the index fund for the Russell 2000, has been doing poorly, and today performed poorly as well, and could continue to drop, and that down pressure could also weigh on AMC. So there are a couple of things moving forward that make me think I might not be in trouble. I do acknowledge that I'm going to need a bit of luck in order to make money with the way I'm trading, and the way I'm trading is mostly dictated by the amount of money I've given myself to play with, right? So I'm using only basically out of the money contracts, like near out of the money contracts. It's really risky, but I gotta grind it up, you know? Looking at after hours, you can see that the price is showing some indications of weakness. This doesn't mean though that the price won't bounce back up and even gap higher. It could even do that. And I say that because the price has moved above the downtrend. Like, this has broken the downtrend. Today is the first day of a potential bullish reversal. This is the first day that I'm willing to say potential bullish reversal. I'm gonna drop an arrow down right here. It was at this tall green candle right there that I was in my Discord, and I said, hey, faint of heart, you should probably close your bearish positions, probably, because it's gonna get rough. And you know, the price did rise, of course. And I think perhaps this might just be a test of the 1870 level breakout. Sometimes horizontal levels of support and resistance kind of act like trend lines in terms of how they break. So here we had a test, right? And then a breakthrough. And now the price has come back up and it's testing again, and there was a lot of resistance here, and the price can stop rallying there. And that is despite this volume spike here. That was, let's see here, 421 million volume, and that was at the peak. So this tells me that there was probably a lot of volume pushing it up, but then something stopped right there. And these are, look at pipes. So that 1870, 1880, 1870 level, that is an important level of resistance, and I think it's going to be really important to see what happens tomorrow. I'm going to zoom out to the daily really quickly, and we'll see how that looks. Not on this chart though. Let's go to the second VTOP. Okay, so let me zoom out. We'll have a look at this VTOP. This pattern completed, and the target was reached last week. So that was good. Looking at the daily candle, that's, you know, that's a bullish candle. It really is. Little tail, opened lower, little tail, closed up, but it's still not quite into a bullish place yet. The RSI did come up a little bit. You can see that little tick up to 45. It's still not quite, you know, bullish, but the volume is really telling. This is a low amount of volume. Really low amount of volume. The selling pressure has been higher and pushing the price lower, and this is the first time we've seen really any support, I think, that's resulted in a green candle. We've had support, like here's a tail, right? And there's a tail, lots of tails, lots of support, a lot of these swooping motions that happen through here, right? Dive, swoop, dive, swoop, dive, swoop. Kinda iffy, dive. And this was a big swoop. So part of me thinks that this might just be another one of those bearish, false bottoming patterns, but I just, I'm gotta tell you, I'm a little worried about my puts. Let me pull up like 20 days on a 1 hour chart, and we'll see what that looks like. Zoom out a little bit. And yeah, there you go. You can tell that the price has been in a downtrend recently, and that downtrend's broken. Now there is a different downtrend here. If we say, hey, this was our first completion, our first VTOP right there, you can see that actually ended with a little rise, right? We're getting a little rise here too. So part of me wonders if this isn't just part of the fractal, and we'll see a continued rise to 1987 before finding a new low. This is probably the most likely scenario, in my opinion, is to find something like this. But should the price make a bullish breakout above 1987, then I'm going to be flipping to calls. I'm looking for the price to rise probably into the low 20s. Should that occur, you can see on this time frame that the RSI has come up out of oversold, but it's still not quite in a bullish place. That's the 1 hour. I'm gonna go ahead and check the 4 hour while I'm here. I haven't done any analysis yet. I'm just looking at the charts. My brain's frazzled from work, you know. A poor day of work means a poor day of trading, no doubt about it. And here we see that the RSI didn't quite reach oversold, which is crazy considering it's, I guess that's just because of how high it was, right? Up in the 72.86. So there's still a long way to go, and this could just be another blip, right? Every once in a while in the 4 hour we have these green candles, and that's what this could be. So I don't feel terrible holding these puts, but I don't like it because I'm exposed to a lot of downside pressure right now, at least in my the value of my position, right? Because if the price doesn't drop tomorrow, I'm gonna have to cut my losses and just try to, you know, walk with my tail behind my legs and live to see another day. But it will take some luck to continue day trading the way that I am with the amount of money that I'm using. I want to get lucky and then be able to trade in a better way using in the money options. And to do that, I'm gonna have to either make money or give myself some money. And I don't want to give myself any money. I want to use the money that I've had in the account and not have to worry about increasing my potential losses, right? Because that's what giving myself money to day trade means. So that's today's video. I didn't close my contracts. I'm holding them. And it was just a crazy day for me. So overall, I think this looks like a potential bullish reversal. We'll need tomorrow to really tell us. And I think tomorrow could be a big drop in the markets overall. It really just depends on that inflation news.